GenCon. So I actually did not get to do a recap video on Saturday. Usually at the end of the day, I was trying to do recap videos just to kind of sum up the day and everything I did. But I played so many games and I was out pretty late playing games Saturday that I actually didn't have time because I probably didn't get to bed till close to 2 o'clock in the morning. And so I figured I would wait because then Sunday I went to Gen Con for maybe an hour and then I ended up leaving. I had to drive home, so it was about 2.5 hour drive home as well. So I figured now that I'm back home and able to actually discuss Gen Con a little bit more, I would take that time to do so. So Saturday, I know Friday I was like, I didn't really get to game a whole lot. All that was rectified Saturday. And I think it was just had to come down to me being more assertive, and just kind of putting yourself out there a little bit more, maybe even taking advantage of a couple more opportunities or whatnot. But so Saturday was awesome. So I went and I was able to, go into the exhibit hall and I picked up a couple games because I had some amazing times playing one game. And I'll get to the games a little bit later. But I was able to go around and I was able to get a couple games. I actually was able to meet up with a friend who is there exhibiting, which was Gatekeeper. So some people I know from where I'm from were at Gen Con, had their game that they had been, working on for years and years. And I was able to sit down and kind of demo their game with them for a little bit and play that. Is huge wooden board, everything. It was pretty in-depth, interesting game. It looks like it's a great work in progress and something that I know that they're selling and everything now, but great game. Really enjoyed being able to hang out with them. And then after that, I was able to go and meet up with Funko Games, which was cool, and being able to hear about, their games there, being able to hear about their upcoming games, which was so excited to hear about the Jurassic Legacy game that's coming out. I know it's, I think, pending licensing stuff right now, but they're slowly leaking out information about it. But that game sounds and looks amazing. They had some minis and stuff there too that they were showing off just to kind of as a little teaser, as well as to hear about some of the Christmas games that they're going to be coming out with. Like they have a Grinch game that's coming out. So that'll be interesting with Christmas on the horizon, being able to enjoy and kind of get into the spirit of Christmas just even through gaming. Because in all honesty, I don't think I own a single Christmas game, whether card game or board game. So it was really awesome being able to meet with them and see their games and being able to be excited about what's to come. And they're very excited about what's coming up in the future. I think that Funko Games and Prospero Hall, that relationship and them being together is just, I think they're going to do really amazing things with games in the future. So that's going to be exciting to see. So I got to meet with Funko a little bit, and then I went around and I demoed all kinds of games. I ended up even going and I went to the open gaming hall and I was able to play Steam Up, which I've seen a lot about, and I know the Kickstarter is coming up in October, so I was able to go and do a little demo of that and kind of see that game, which even with it just being 3D printed, looked really nice. So I'm excited to see that Kickstarter and hope that does well. So look out for that one in October, coming to Kickstarter. I was able to sit down with Justin Jacobson from Restoration Games a little bit and take a look at Thunder Road, which is like a Mad Max themed game. And they had the prototype there and you were able to sit down and kind of see how it worked. And that game looks really cool too. And that Kickstarter is going to be October 12th is what I believe is the date that Justin had told me. And it was just great to be able to sit down and kind of build those relationships. So, I mean, I really like being able to demo, but then also just being able to hang out with people, and being able to play some different games. I also had an opportunity to get lunch with Randy and Miranda and Corey from Nerdvana. And so that was really nice, being able to just kind of sit down and have a meal and hear about some games. And Corey was talking about a game called Picture Perfect that was at one of the exhibit booths for Arcane Wonders. And so I had to go, and he was telling me about it, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to demo that. I'm gonna have to get it. And I didn't get to demo it on Saturday. I found it, and I was walking around, and I was like, it was always booked. It was always packed. Like, they always had a demo going, and so I could see it, and I got an idea of what it was, but I was like, okay, if I'm coming back Sunday, I'm going to demo this game, and I'm going to see it. And I did, and I'll get to that in a little bit. And so, yeah, so I got to play some games. I played Enchanters by Mythic Games, which was really cool. I got to meet Sam Healy's wife was there, and Sam was there, which was awesome. He was playing Super Fantasy Brawl. But Enchanters was really neat. It was really cool. Got to play with Lincoln Tidwell from Mythic Games there. He was volunteering and everything, so he did a great job teaching the game. And it was funny because, like, we were doing so bad. Like, in the game, you take your, they have the journey track, and you're fighting off monsters and everything, but you then are going after these overlords and you keep going until this deck runs out. And anyway, we did so bad. We did horrible. And somehow I won with like negative 22 points because they all had like negative 28 or negative 30. And I was like, we did so bad. But it was funny. It was a cool game, and I feel like we had some like really difficult cards. At least that's what we were told, but maybe Lincoln told us that just to make us feel a little bit better. But that was fun to be able to sit down and play those games. I got to go around and, I played, we went to the Charity Gamer had a community gathering that I just kind of stumbled into. I was playtesting some demos in the open gaming hall. I got to demo a game called Pyre with the designer there. It's like an abstract strategy game where each person has like their own unique faction and different movement cards and like these special cards that you can buy. And that was fun. It was a fun game to just be able to kind of play a game that people put all their passion into. Maybe somebody that they don't have a publisher, but just be able to sit down with anybody and play their game and experience it. There are some other really cool prototypes there. There was one called Brick and Mortar that would look really nice. There was one I really wanted to try, but again was always had somebody demoing it, and that was Davy Jones' Locker. It looked really sweet, and so I know that one's gonna be coming to Kickstarter as well. And so yeah, I was very excited about gaming. Let's see, and then I wandered into this community gathering that the Charity Gamer had put on, and was able to play a number of games with the people from Savranti. So I got to play Cascadia, I got to play We're Doomed, and I got to play Cartographers. I got to play with Mike from Breaking Games. I got to see Grant there again from Grant Game Rex. Got to meet some different people there that were designers. So I know it was Sean and Adam. I think it was Adam. Adam and Sean that was there too. They were Sean was a designer of a game. And it was just nice just to sit down with people, meet new friends, and play some games. I got to play Horrified American Monsters at Ravensburger's booth. I got to play this game. It was called Boss's Battle, and it was not a game that I had ever heard of or ever played, and so it was really cool. I had this hex grid, and I had a pirate ship, and then the guy that was teaching me the game had this like giant. There are painted minis. His was a giant robot. Mine was this big pirate ship that. And you each had your own little minions. He had drones, I had pirates, and we were going around essentially just kind of fighting one another. And it was a really, really, really fun game. I liked it a lot, and it was really cool just to be able to demo these games and going around and playing different stuff. And so Saturday was great. It was great to just be able to sit down and play games. It was great to be able to demo games. It was great to be able to get lunch with Randy and Miranda and Corey. And so, yeah, I just had a lot of fun just meeting people, playing games. I played a ton more games. So disregard everything I said on Friday about playing games. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just an off day for me or something, but it was awesome. Like, just played games. It was so great, and just being able to connect with people and have a good time, and something that I really appreciated. And so yeah, Saturday was a busy day of playing games and just going around. I played Bees, which was awesome. I hadn't had a chance to play Bees, and they had sold out, which was cool. As I was walking around and looking at publishers, games were selling out. So it's like nice to see that even though GenCon was limited in attendance, that sales were still booming. Like, people were still selling out of games. They were not just selling well, but like from what I heard, like record-setting, breaking years of selling. And it was just, I'd heard that maybe the exhibit hall, it was a lot smaller than what it used to be. Granted, I hadn't been before, so it was all, to me, it was large, It just was exciting and fun. And so it was good to see that the con did well. It was nice to be able to play games and meet people and, just enjoy gaming. And so I think during that whole time, I'm just like, man, I love this hobby, I just love it. And so, yeah, so that was Saturday. And then Sunday, I was only there for a couple hours. So I went and I was like, I have to demo Picture Perfect because it sounds amazing. So I went and I demoed it, and they literally had maybe like 10 copies left. And like, once these are gone, they're gone. And this game's not coming out for, I think, another month. And they were like, we're coming out with an expansion. They had these promos there for the acrylic pieces. And I played it and I loved it. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's such a good game. So I picked up a copy. I had to. And so, talking about the games, I played a lot of really good games, but I will say the two games that I played that I loved the most would be Whirling Witchcraft from AEG. So Whirling Witchcraft from AEG was a great game. Highly recommend it, being able to use these recipes. The theme is kind of pasted on. You have a bench of cubes and ingredients, right, for your witch's workbench. And every turn you're going to gain a recipe. And then you're going to use the ingredients that are on your workbench to then put in these recipes. And these recipes are going to give you outputs, which are different colored cubes. And you're going to be passing those outputs from the recipes to the player to your right. Okay, so you are trying to overflow the player to your right, overflow their workbench. And if it goes over the capacity that each color holds, you gain points for every single one that goes over. First to 5 points wins. So you're passing these cubes to the player to your right. And then on the flip side, the cards you're passing to the player on the left. So you're constantly having to be aware of the player to your left and right. Because the player to your left, you want to make sure you give them cards so that their workbench don't overflow, and the person that's trying to feed them cubes doesn't win. But then you're also, conscious that they're sending you cubes to the point to where you want to make sure that the cubes that they're sending you can get rid of, because you're going to give them points. And so it's an interesting little give and take there. Very quick, very fast. Super easy to set up and tear down, and it all fits in the box, and you have these really cool 3D cardboard cauldrons. I really liked it, and I was like, oh, this would be perfect for game night, especially for people that aren't big gamers. Whirling Witchcraft by AEG, really enjoyed it. This was part of their big game night that they did. Great game. Definitely go check it out, especially if you play with a lot of non-gamers or people that are newer to the hobby. This is super easy to teach. Yeah, so definitely check that one out. And the other one is, as I discussed, Picture Perfect. It's so good. It's so different the idea is that everybody has their own. Let me kind of start over here. So it's a dinner party, right? And everybody is gathering around the table to take a picture. All right. And you have to try and place people where they want to go, who they want to be next to, where they want to be around the table, who wants their face shown, who they don't want to be seen in the picture, who they want to be standing next to, all this stuff. And you're just getting limited information. So as you're going, you're going to have these envelopes that have the cards inside of them that tell you what their preferences are. Okay. But the thing is as you're passing these envelopes around, and different things are happening in the game because they have a little deck of cards that's going to tell you how the envelopes get distributed and get exchanged. You might not get everybody's folders or their little envelopes. You might not know everybody's preferences. And at the end of the game, you either have to leave those people out of the picture, or you can try to guess and make it, fit into your picture. But then you take your phone out and you take a picture of what you've created in front of the screen, right? And you're going to pick people that are VIPs, and they get to score twice or 3 times, depending on how many VIP cards are in there. But you take a picture of it, and you're going to score based on your picture. So if somebody says they don't want so-and-so's face to be seen in the picture, you're going to be looking at the picture you took on your phone, and if you can see your face, it counts against you, and you're going to get points based on how many of those preference cards you fulfilled. But I really like the theme. It's a beautiful game, especially even with the acrylic pieces. It looks really nice. And it's great. And they're coming out with the 5 and 6 player expansion. Super fun. Another one that's great for people that are newer to the hobby, easy to teach, and super quick. 45 minutes, you're done. Sometimes you could probably even do it faster than that, in all honesty. So I found a lot of really good games that are really fun, that play in a short amount of time, but these two are 100% the best ones I played at the con. New games, I'm not going to pick games that I've already played. I love Cascadia. A ton of people are playing Cascadia. A ton of people were playing Kabuto Sumo. It was a big one from the con. Great game, but I had already played those. So from the con, these two were my favorite. But they were just so good, and these will be ones that I'll be taking to game group and playing a lot in the future. So I'm super excited about that. I will also include just like a picture so you guys can see my game haul, but I was able to get, the Rocketeer, Fast and the Furious, and the Goonies from Funko. I was able to get a Kickstarter version of Sleeping Gods, as well as Downforce and the expansions for Downforce, which I really love that game. That was great. So just overall, and I got Gladius as well, and I got Letter Jam. So tons and tons of games to be able to play. Really, really great experience. Love Gen Con already. Know I'm going to go next year. Have some buddies that are like, oh, they saw how much fun I had, and they're like, we have to go next year no matter what. We're going to go. And so I'm super excited to go next year. I'm super excited for the future of gaming. And one thing I forgot to mention after my Friday recap video was, when I went to AEG and saw their stuff, was that there's another space-based expansion coming out. So I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about Dead Reckoning Saga 3 Kickstarter coming in 2022. I'm super excited about the different games in the future. Like, even just sitting around and playing with the prototypes that were in the open gaming hall. People that, they couldn't buy a booth and everything, but they were setting up their game and playing, that were really good. And so, it was nice to be able to go to a con, after everything that's been going on with the pandemic. It was so safe. Everybody was wearing a mask. I don't think I saw a single person not wearing a mask unless they were at one of the, they had tables set up for a mask break. But everybody was super kind. It wasn't too crowded. It was easily to walk around and interact with people. You didn't have to worry about, you could easily come up and talk to your favorite contributor. I saw Jeremy Howard a ton. I saw everybody from the Dice Tower all the time. And it was just easy to have those interactions and those conversations. And, yeah, I'm excited. This is my first con, and then to think I'm going to be going to Dice Tower Cruise in like what, 5-6 months. So I'm excited to, this to become something I do more frequently, is going to these conventions. So yeah, that was my Gen Con. Overall, 10 out of 10. Loved it. Loved every bit of it. I loved everything. I know Friday I was like, oh, I didn't get to play a lot, but scratch that, because Saturday killed it. I probably played like 15 games at least. I played so many games. So yeah, it was really, really fun. Really enjoyed it. Highly recommend, if you haven't been to a gaming convention, just go and try it out. I mean, especially that you're gonna have that learning curve. If it's your first time, I would recommend figure out the events. I think that's the one thing from my takeaway, is that I need to learn about the events, sign up for events. That is my go-to. Most of them are free anyway. And if they're not free, you pay like maybe a couple dollars, unless you do some of the really big things that you have to pay for. But I'm just saying, even like the games that you want to play, sign up for the events. Sign up for the events. It's great. I just walked around and watched people playing at the events, which, I mean, I was like, man, I should have signed up. So sign up for events. Open Gaming Hall is always great. Obviously, you have the exhibit hall. Go to the different hotels. They also have gaming there, so go and check out there. But things I'll definitely work on for next year when I go to Gen Con. It was nice. It was a good learning experience, but also just an amazing gaming experience. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the videos and pictures that are, shown throughout the video of just what I got to see and experience. But yeah, that was my Gen Con. Let me know if you guys went. What was your favorite game that you played from Gen Con? What are you kind of looking forward to when it comes to gaming? Are you planning on going to Dice Tower Cruise? Maybe we can set up some stuff to be able to hang out at Dice Tower Cruise. I'd love to be able to just sit and play more games with people. So yeah, this video is getting a little long, so I will cut it off there. But super glad, super excited that I went and was able to have a good time. So that was my Gen Con experience. So we'll see you guys on the next video.